that we passed by. So press conference, any second now, by the way. Another question. We had very short.
Okay, look this way, John.
Thank you.
Okay, one after you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Many thanks for coming today. We really appreciate it at such a short notice for everyone. But things have been moving very, very quickly in the last 24 hours, as you can imagine. So I'm absolutely delighted to formally introduce our new first team manager, Paul Clement. It's been a tough week and a tough couple of days, to be honest. But myself and the owners are absolutely delighted to secure somebody with the pedigree of Paul, the European experience, but also experience in the UK in the Championship and the Premiership as well. So that's very, very important to the club in the situation that we're in, and I'm sure we'll discuss that as we go through the proceedings here. So on that point, Geraint, I'd like to throw it open and start the Q&A.
Afternoon to you, afternoon Paul.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Why Reading for you?
Well, it's a really good opportunity. Club I've always respected, going back many years when I was involved in youth football, and come across Reading's academy, which has always been very strong. Got a rich tradition of bringing players through, but also at senior level as well. I've always been very competitive at this level. Obviously had Premiership experience as well more recently. And having spoken to Ron and the owners as well, the ambition of the club, obviously there's an immediate aim is to secure the club in the Championship. 8 games to go, but then beyond that, I think there's a lot of ambition to take this club further forward. Very close, obviously, last season, just penalty kicks away from the Premiership. That's where the club want to be, and that's the ambition I have to do as well, is to coach at that level again.
Given obviously that obviously things have happened at a fair pace this week, can you give us some idea of the contract? Given what you said is the immediate aim is 8 games this season, but there is ambition looking forward. What is the length of your contract?
Yeah, Paul's come in for the long term. We're a forward-looking club, and we've got a forward-looking and a forward-thinking manager, and I think that's very, very important to us. We've always said the ambition has not wilted at all. We're still set our sights to move forward with the club. But we are realistic of where we sit today, and I think you're absolutely right. We have almost a mini season in front of us for the next 8 games, and everybody is well aware of the situation that we're in, including Paul and the rest of the guys at the football club, and that's where our focus is. But we have entered into a longer term deal.
Paul, coming back to you, if you break it down to that mini season. Looking at it, look on paper, it looks very difficult. How are you going to turn this around? How are you going to make sure Reading remain in the Championship? Yeah,
it is difficult, Joe, but all games are difficult at the Premiership level and at the Championship level. I've experience of working at both. Obviously had 8 months at Derby, 30 games. Every game was challenging, and I look at those 8 games and I see it that if the players play to their potential and we manage to get some ideas across very quickly, maybe get an early win and build some confidence, they're all winnable games. So that's the way I look at it.
How important is it the fact you've got a week now? It's QPR in a week today. How important is it you've got a week? A, to get to know the playing staff, get to know the players, as you say, get the ideas across, rather than maybe being faced with the game in the next 24 hours? No,
absolutely. My first day at Swansea, we had a game that night and we won it. So this is a better situation. Could have been worse. I'm going to have 4 good training days with the players. The next 24 hours getting to meet all the backroom staff. So we're giving ourselves a really good chance of being well prepared for Friday night, and we will be well prepared.
Respect that you say every game is winnable, but looking at that running, there are tough teams there that are doing well, like Villa, Fulham. You've got Cardiff potentially on the last game as well. It could have been a bit of an easier running.
Well, the objective for me is very much to work with the players that we've got. not to think overly about the opposition. I always pay the opposition respect and do the right amount of analysis and preparation, but I'll look more at the Reading squad and say that it's a team that have underachieved this season, and now we need to get them playing to their potential, and if we do that, we'll be competitive against anybody.
But you need help as well. Obviously the backroom staff that were here with Jaap Stam have left as well. Any thoughts on who you may want to bring in with you? Have you discussed that with Ron already?
Yeah, we're in negotiations with two people that I've worked with previously, and hopefully that will be resolved in the next couple of days. But also look to the existing staff that are here, and Michael Gilks, Dave Besant, Jed Roddy in the academy, people with a lot of experience. And I make it very clear that this will not be me turning it around, it will be us, and it will be a team effort. Myself working with Ron and the ownership and all the backroom staff and players, it will be a collective effort if we're going to turn this around.
Not that you need motivation, but how much do you feel you've got a point to prove? Young English manager, great job at Derby, Swansea went well, obviously there were difficulties towards the end, but do you feel you have a point to prove as well?
I think managers always got a point to prove. The way I look at it is that I have a burning ambition to be successful. I will be the judge of whether I'm successful or not. I won't allow anyone else to make that decision for me. I've had wonderful experience of lots of different levels of football, both as an assistant as a manager as well. Some of those times have been very good. Some of them have been, testing and challenging. But in all those times, you gain experience. And when I was a younger coach, I didn't think experience was so important. I thought it was more about knowledge and understanding and personality. But now, having had more experience, I know how important that is, and I'll be using all that experience I have to try and make this team better.
And how pleased are you that you've got back into football quickly? Because the worst thing for probably a manager like you, a young manager as well, is to be watching in from the sidelines.
Yeah, of course. And my house couldn't be any tidier, my car couldn't be any cleaner, the grass is looking wonderful. But it's time to get back, for me, coaching football. It was 3 months, and that was 3 months too long for me.
Just in terms of whether you mentioned that mini-season and then the ambition looking longer term, can you give us some sense of your conversations with Ron about what that longer term ambition is? Take it as a given you want to stay up, obviously you do, but maybe when you get with a fresh piece of paper in the summer now, what are your ambitions, what are your plans for this club?
Well, let's say 99% of my concentration now is on the next 8 games. That's it. If I'm thinking about the other 1%, is to move this club forward, and we want to take it into the top league. Right, that's what we want to do. How long is that going to take? We're not sure, because it's a big test. There's a lot of other really good clubs at this level that want to go to the Premiership. But we believe that we have the infrastructure in place to be able to do that. Moving to a new training ground in the imminent future. These are all positive things to be able to attract good players. We want to build on the squad and improve them, but the focus has to be on the next 8 games.
Just a final question from me. You mentioned the owners in an earlier answer as well. Just in terms of the backing from them, how much of an impact is that going to have on what Paul can do in the short term and maybe the medium to longer term as well?
The backing of the owners has been incredible from day one. I mean, they've as I said earlier, they've never wilted on their vision for the football club. They're very ambitious, and it was very, very important that we bring ambitious, positive people into the football club, and that's key. And we already have a lot of people like that in our club at this present time. They've not set any times against targets, but we all know they want to see improvement through the football club. We know this year has been very difficult and challenging, and we have to put that behind us, and we have to keep that kind of positive mental attitude at the front set, and that's what we're trying to do. Bringing someone like Paul in now, there is a challenge there. We have to look at the next 8 games. That will set the scene for us for in the summer, and then we take it from there. But there's been massive support from day one, and everything that we could have given the past management, we have given the past management and supported it. But together we decided that now was there's never an easy time for a change. There's never any guarantees with change. But we all together felt that this is a big 8 games, and maybe a fresh change and a fresh direction is the right thing for the football club.
Thank you. Paul, how many more points do you think you need from these 8 games to be safe?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I've looked back already at past championship seasons and what it takes to guarantee staying up, and the range can be quite big. I think the average is around 47 points. I mean, I think we have to be aiming at approaching every game and trying to win every game. And that, as I sit here now and I think about the next 8 games, my objective is to try and win every game. And if we do that, we're going to be fine.
Can you talk us through your week as well? You've been in Los Angeles and you've been talking to coaches and having some time to develop your own skills as well.
Yeah, as well as cleaning the house and washing the car, I have done some other, some really interesting things in the last 3 months. Some with the media, some visiting other managers in this country, and more recently I was in Los Angeles. I had a really fantastic meeting a couple of days ago with the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, sharing ideas about leadership, management and coaching, which was great. And when this opportunity came up and I spoke to Ron, only a couple of days ago, things moved very quickly, and I was on a flight from Los Angeles back to London yesterday.
What kind of things did you learn? Because Sean McVay is seen as a very bright young thing in the NFL coaching world. So what kind of things did you teach?
Brilliant. I've always been really interested in American sport and culture, and particularly the NFL, with the intensity and the organisation that goes on at that level. Sean was a very inspirational person that I met. Coach of the year last year in the NFL, youngest coach in NFL history. I think he's only in his early 30s. So it was really interesting and giving me some ideas already to take into my own style.
Just last one from me. You had the Swansea role where you had to come in and perform the role of kind of firefighter, keep the club up, and you did that, and then it went a bit the other way, and obviously you end up leaving Swansea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're now coming in to do a similar job. How are you going to? Have you learned how maybe you can try and keep that momentum going, so that the same thing doesn't happen and just the cycle doesn't continue?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that I can find a place and a club and a team that I can be with for the foreseeable future. Both my roles, and there were different circumstances in both Derby and Swansea. I wouldn't say that they were either success or failure. I think there was probably a mixture of the two. The first thing is that, having been to Swansea and gone there in such a difficult situation and managed to get really good results, get the team playing, get confidence into them, and push the team into a safe situation, they're the things that I'll be drawing on. Certainly in the short term, and the medium, longer term stuff, we'll start thinking about that in the summer.
The fans are obviously putting a lot of hope into you after a disappointing season. Simply, what message would you give to them?
Well, I'd like to see lots of fans coming in and supporting the team. I know that some of the attendances have dropped, and one thing I do know, and being around players and around good teams, is that they love to be supported and cheered on by their fans. So, I really hope that starting Friday, we get good numbers in, they get behind the players and give them that extra little bit of incentive to push that little bit harder when things are tough, and help us get the right results.
You've obviously got a great CV, but what skills do you say you've got to turn things around?
Well, I suppose experience, having worked at lots of different levels, but most recently having been in a relegation battle at Swansea. When I went there, the team had 12 points. A lot of people were writing the team off, and managed to put 29 points on in 19 games, which is a really healthy tally. The games here are much fewer, but I think the position is healthier because the team are 3 points above the bottom. And the big message I'll be giving to the players is we're not looking behind, we're looking forward and up the table. And I think the teams that are 3 and 4 points ahead should be looking at us and not the other way around.
Paul, BBC Radio Berkshire, Eddie Williams. Welcome to Medeski Stadium. What can the players expect from Paul Clement, and what do you expect from the players for these remaining 8 games?
Well, they can expect that I'll be giving my everything to get the team prepared, get them confident and ready for the first game against Queen's Park Rangers. We've got 4 days to do that. I'll be telling them that belief, positivity, confidence are all very important things. I think these are things that have been damaged. I've been involved in a teams that you can go through bad runs and you can get in a bit of a cycle if you don't know where even the next point's coming from. But I'm always a believer in that you get on the training field and you trust your preparation in order to get ready for games.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, obviously you're confident that you can keep Reading in the Championship this season, hence taking the job. How are you going to stop the rot? Because the form is woeful, 1 win in 18, just 3 points at the bottom 3 now. What's going to change?
Well, sometimes a fresh voice and different ideas and a new outlook from a different person coming in from outside can have that difference. I think we've seen that many times before. I've seen it personally. We've even seen it in teams this year, both in the Championship and the Premiership, when they've made changes that it just gives that little bit of impetus in the short term, and that's what we're looking for here.
You've worked with Nigel Gibbs in the past, obviously Nigel, assistant manager here under Brian McDermott. Are you intending to bring the backroom staff in, or are you going to work with these boys, Gilksy and Dave Besson, until the end of the season?
Yeah, Michael and Dave, absolutely. Looking forward to working with them, and we are looking at doing a couple of additions as well.
Can I ask you what sort of philosophy you've got, what style of play? Because Derby, good footballing team, Swansea, good footballing team. We've seen the style that Yapstown enjoys implementing here at the Medeski Stadium. What can we expect from the Paul Clement side?
Well, it's interesting. I often read some of the things about what fans think about the style and their comments, and some are very perceptive and are right, and some are like, I'm not sure that was the case. I always try and get balance in the teams that I work with, neither more defensive or offensive, just balance. Good attacking team, try and be solid and organised defensively, well organised at set plays. So just to give us the best chance of winning. We won't be overly open, we won't be overly defensive, we just want to get winning football.
And you've obviously got links to this town in many ways. Reading, your brother was born here, you've got family here, obviously the connection with Mr. Gourlay at Chelsea, so I imagine all these factors a big part why you took the job. Yeah,
it's a really nice opportunity for me. My brother came here in the late 90s, he was a player at Chelsea, he had 3 months here on loan, so I was often driving up the M4 from Surrey to attend games. I know lots of people that have worked here in the past. I know players that have played here. I know some of the current players, so I'm really looking forward to getting going.
Mr. Gourlay, if I can bring you in, obviously, the season's been a desperate season in many ways, particularly after last season. Big appointment, is this? Can I say that it has to work for the football club? This appointment has to work for the football club with just 8 games remaining, of course, and for Paul, and maybe yourself as well, being a major factor of the appointment.
Yeah, I think as I said earlier, I think it's very, very important that we are realistic about the position that we're in, Eddie. I think that's the first thing we've got to do. There's when in my discussions with the owners, it's change is always an option, but it's the timing of that change, if you're ever going to make it, that will determine potentially the outcome. And from my point of view, everybody knows the type of ambition that I have personally, and the people that I like to be surrounded with have got to be ambitious people. And I think for me, I have every confidence in the players. And in Paul's management and the backroom staff, at some of at the back of the room today, that can take this club through the difficult period. There is 8 games out there. There's 24 points to be earned. That's where our focus is, and that's where 99% of Paul's focus will be, and the players and the backroom staff for the next few weeks, and then we'll take it forward. But the plans are still there in place, and Paul can see for himself the amount of effort that's gone into the football club behind the scenes in the last 6 months that will continue.
And the last one from me, you mentioned the word timing. I guess I don't think anyone's been surprised that Yapstown and the football club have parted, but the timing, in many ways, you don't often see with 8 games of the season remaining, particularly in the situation where the football club is now. What do you say to the Reading fans about the timing? Why possibly did it take so long?
I think well, firstly, we have owners who wanted to support and give the utmost support to the manager, who him and his team did very, very well last season, and they wanted to give every possible opportunity. And you know, in football, the games start passing by, and sometimes you're hoping for a change in luck and for the confidence maybe to come back with every game that you go forward with. And there's never a good time, and I explained to the owners that, if you look at the records, when change has been made with managers, there's not always a guaranteed result there. It doesn't always work to the positive. But I think, we got to a point, and I say we, because, my regular contact with the manager, it got to a point where we had conversations. We sat down together with the ownership, and we all decided that this was the best time for the change, and to give an incoming manager the opportunity to give us fresh blood to try and take this forward, and that was the reason about it. But the owners, I can't speak highly enough for the owners. They've been incredibly supportive. I can't be critical of the past manager. I can't be critical of the 2 assistants who have also left the club, as far as the work, everything, the energy they put in, the desire they put in. But at the end of the day, the results just didn't change, and they also recognised that as well. And together we decided that this was the right time, and we'll know come the 6th of May.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Johnny Freeman from the Breeze. In terms of meeting the players, I don't know if you had a chance to meet them yet, but what are some of the messages you're giving to them at the moment, particularly in a week of change as such?
Well, the first thing, and I'm sure they'll understand, is that they know that they've underachieved this season. So it will be about trying to instill some belief. The main stuff, though, is not going to be sitting talking in a meeting situation like this. Of course, we're going to have meetings, but it's going to be out on the training field. We've got to get some tactical ideas into the players very quickly. 4 training days, I think, is adequate amount of time to prepare for Queen's Park Rangers, and that's where the majority of the work will be done.